Good food, not school food.
School food's the worst.
It was awful.
What was the best lunch at your high school? The
The
one that
absolute best lunch is when they would get pizza once in a while.
like real pizza or
No, well, I'm thinking of grade school now. Grade school, every once in a while, they really would bring in like a bunch of whatever the cheapest like Domino's was. And it was like, oh my God, you only got 2 slices. Or I guess most kids got 1, but I got 2. I would often get 3 because there was a chip system. You got a blue chip or a red chip. Blue chip, double portion, red chip, single portion. And there was this kid that was on Ritalin in my class. Shout out to Tim. And he never wanted to eat. And so I would take my double chip, his single chip most of the time, and I would eat a triple chip meal.
Jesus Christ.
This is like when the puppies,
I never took it from him.
the
He
big
literally
strong
didn't want
puppies just get bigger and stronger because they get all the food because they're bigger and stronger. And then they're bigger and stronger because they got all the food. And
his mom would get so mad at him and be like, you need to eat. And he's like, you got me on speed. If I eat, I feel sick. I can't. I'm not hungry. And so like he would ask me even, he'd be like, Taylor, just eat it. Like, just make sure my tray is clean by the end because Mrs. Disman is going to come by, and if she sees that there's food on there, she's going to tell my mom. And I'm like, no, I suppose. Like, just like
what a gun I have.
Yeah. And I mean, most days it didn't even pan out that much because it's like, I don't even want an extra serving of this nonsense. But pizza day at work.
I think the best might have been like country fried steak. That was pretty good.
Ooh, we did not have that.
what is
country
that?
fried. It's a steak that's like tenderized by like, and then it's battered and fried.
Okay.
And covered in sawmill gravy, usually served with rice, which you also cover with the gravy. It's a very healthy meal.
It sounds
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Good for growing kids.
Growing young lads and lasses.
That was your best thing.
That might have been the best thing because the pizza was awful, and we never once ever got real food. Sometimes, like the girls who had creepy boyfriends who were like adults, their boyfriends would like bring them like some Wendy's or something because there was one really nearby the high school. But no, there was no like real food coming in the doors.
We had like you could run for student council and there was a little student government and stuff, and they give you all these promises, but they can't actually make anything happen because it's just a pretend government that has no power. Ours actually got something done. Before I got there, they implemented a salad bar. And oftentimes the best thing at our school was the salad bar. It sounds terrible, right? But it had like quality meat chicken and, of course, all the salad type stuff. But yeah, and like the ham at the salad bar wasn't cafeteria quality food. It was like actual quality food. That was usually the best thing around. And you could, as much as the bowl would hold, they didn't weigh it or anything. It would just, so my bowl would just be, it'd be 3 bowls worth of food.
Yeah, we had a salad bar, but it was like shredded lettuce with ranch or French dressing, and there you go. Enjoy.
No meat, no croutons, and
there were
chicken.
no croutons, no cherry tomatoes, no accoutrement.
Yeah, we had those things.
Shredded lettuce.
I almost forgot. I mentioned it so many. Our school was well funded. I forgot that. Like maybe that's why everyone else didn't have that.
Good thing.
A real quality salad bar. There was an epidemic, or I'm sure every school has this, and I'm talking about high school now, not grade school. Like kids just stealing food from the cafeteria. Did that happen constantly where you guys were?
Never. How did you steal?
First of all, it was cheap. It was like, and a couple of the kids I knew who would steal all the time. One of them in particular was like, it's like, dude, your family's worth like 5 digits. Like a healthy, or not 5 digits, like
5, you say?
No, I'm sorry, I was thinking 8 digits. My bad.
Oh, okay,
like, not like 10.01 million, like healthily in that range.
50 million,
like, very, very, very wealthy people. And like he would stuff so many sandwiches into the middle of his hoodie every day. And then like I discovered later on that what he was doing is we had like our main cafeteria area, and then like you could go out into like the lobby. Because it was overflowed for the high school, so like you couldn't fit everybody in the cafeteria. Some people have to sit in the lobby at like circular tables and things. And he would go out there and sell sandwiches, undercut the cost of it. And it's like the risk reward is not even there here. Like you drive a brand new Mustang and you didn't pay. Like what you need this 20% margin on $1.75 chicken to your sandwich. blew my mind. But then there were also people who would steal it by going to the salad bar we had. Doesn't sound as nice as yours, but they would just load it up with all the ham and chicken and then set it on the condiment area, because foolishly it was like a half wall in this area of the cafeteria, and then there were the registers. And so you could just take your, buy a $1 sandwich, put $8, because they did weigh it, of like salad over there, and then just leave and walk around to the side and act like you were getting ketchup on your burger and just grab the styrofoam and leave. Not secure at all. And so eventually they did get rid of the salad bar. Too many people abused that.
Yeah, nothing got weighed. Lunch was $1.25, and you put in your like 4-digit code, which is the last 4 of your social security number, and then you moved along. And you could get a double lunch for like 75 more cents or something.
2 Salisbury steaks or chicken fried steaks?
Whatever you wanted. Yeah, whatever they were serving that day, which was almost always just terrible, terrible food.
Yeah. That really should be a better priority. Like getting kids healthier stuff at school. That can't be good for
Who's going to pay for that?
kids. Well, I mean, we already paid for the crappy food.
I hate to do politics, but is that like Michelle Obama's whole thing? Like she made school lunches healthier and everyone got mad at her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, Republicans hated healthy school lunches. Like, that's the hill you want to die on.
Well, that's stupid.
I don't pay for school lunch at all.
If kids eat healthier.
They're like, they said they didn't taste as good. They weren't as, they're healthier lunches.
I remember her.
Am I the only one that thinks that if I saw this thing where, like, because of the pandemic, a lot of the kids are staying home, right? And I get where that could really put stress on like households, right? Like
especially if both parents work.
Yeah,
and the kids themselves.
Paying for childcare and all that, so that's getting a lot more expensive. But that's not the point they were making. They were like, can you believe it? Now they've got to feed their kids at lunch. These kids were getting free lunches at the school, and now the parents have to feed them. Their parents are having to feed them all 3 meals a day.
People were saying,
can't put that kind of stress on a parent to provide 3 meals for a child. It's unreasonable. And I'm like, maybe it was unreasonable to have some kids that you can't afford to give 3 meals a day. You know how much oatmeal costs when you buy it in bulk?
It's borderline free.
It's borderline free. Like $2 buys like a pound of oatmeal. It's like 2 months of food.
I've never heard that, but I mean, a lot of silly people out there. I would believe it.
If you can't afford and the free school lunches don't make sense to me either. Because again, if you don't have $1.25 to spare for your child's meal a day, why did you have a kid?
Yeah,
why do you have a kid? Like I don't get it.
There's nothing to do now, though. The kid's there.
There's something they could do. You start euthanizing those kids.
Taylor, you didn't even think of that.
I didn't even consider.
He's a problem solver.
Here we are paying Mr. Mac to go around and be a janitor when we got all these poor little here. They're going to be earning their lunches.
Imagine what that would do to you socially if you had to clean the school while you went there.
Yeah.
Suicide rates skyrocket.
Taylor gets to study
Everyone
hall.
meet our
Woody
new
grabs a
student
mop.
janitor. This is Ollie. His mother makes poor decisions.
Everybody spit on Ollie.
Oh my god!
Don't buddy. Try to get your garbage in the trash can, but if you miss, don't worry. Ollie's there for the rebound.
It's like that Simpsons episode where they're like all on the bus on the way to a field trip, and Miss Krabappel's like, "Whose Fuzzy Wuzzy Bear lunchbox is it?" And Nelson's like, "Mine." And everybody's like, "Ha ha." He's like, "It's not my fault. It's my mom's poor." And they're like, "Ha ha." He's like, "It's not her fault. She's too fat to work at Hooters anymore. They won't even let her park cars." And they're like, "Ha." Kids are so fucking weird. He's like, "Well, I'm sure even though you're poor, you still have the $7 for the field trip, right?" And he's like, and they just leave him on the side of the road.
That's something that you shouldn't have to pay for. Now that's where I go the other complete opposite direction. I didn't like it when they charged kids for field trips. Like, oh yeah, we're going to the aquarium. Lunch is $8. It's like, you're taking us somewhere. You should pay for lunch. Like,
yeah, it's a date.
Or when you had to buy a ticket for the aquarium. It's like, no. You're the one who organized this shit, Miss Smith. You should be. If you don't have $8 a kid, you have made some poor decisions, because I don't care about fish.
My mom would very consistently, especially in grade school, and actually all throughout high school and middle school, everything, like if it was a field trip day, she would kind of be like, "Do you want to go to school or no?" And I'd be like, "Hell no." And so like I just would not go to school on field trip days.
Really?
You take
Yeah.
absent days though?
I don't know how it worked. My senior year, I was so close to being in trouble for the amount of absences, but it never bit me in the ass or anything. So
I technically failed high school because I missed too many days.
technically, you got your diploma though, right?
Yeah, but it's not legitimate because I missed too many days. They were not required to give me that diploma. Some numbers were changed.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, so numbers in the system were changed to give you the diploma, or like
Yeah.
some? Oh, well, that's handy. I've said this before, but there was this kid in my middle school. There's like some stupid middle school graduation thing that they, those lip service nonsense, and like everybody got their little thing where it's like, "You've graduated from middle school, hooray!" And then my buddy, or not a buddy of mine, just a guy I knew, came over. He was showing everybody. I saw a big group of people laughing. He's like, "Dude, Taylor, check it out!" And it said, "Joe, thank you for participating in 8th grade." he didn't pass, so they got him a thank you for participating plaque for 8th grade. And he was such a terror, they just pushed him through the next grade. That's how I think most kids are who should be held back, is the teachers are like, fuck this. Like, push them forward. I'm not dealing with this again. I can imagine that happening in a good
I think
bit.
you could miss like 5 days, and I think I missed like 5.5 days because a class counts like a quarter of a day. So like sometimes I just skip one class, or sometimes I would skip the same class for many, many days just because I knew that it would add up, and I didn't need that grade anyway. It's like, yeah, I don't care if I make a 0. Like I don't fucking need this to graduate. I don't give a shit.
When I was a teenager, I realized this. If you skip class, you get in a lot of trouble. You can't just skip class. If you come in late to school, even if it's like 60 seconds late, then you have detention after school. And that used to happen to me too often. So I rode my bike to school. So it was really on me to like get up on time, get out the door on time, ride my bike fast enough, and get to school on time.
Shit.
So like I'd be like in the bike racks, and I'd hear the alarm or the bell ring or something. I'd be like, late. Well, off I went. I will come back to school 90 minutes from now, because why would I? Like, if I'm going to get detention, let's make it worthwhile. There's no reason for me to be 90 seconds late for school to get all that punishment. I could skip a whole class.
In for a penny.
That's so foreign to me. Like literally no one rode a bike.
Oh, well, I lived in the city.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd get hit by a fucking car. You'd be riding down the highway. It wouldn't work.
No, there were
fucking sidewalk.
hundreds of kids rode their bike to my schools.
Yeah, no,
you would get detention if you were 30 seconds late.
Yeah, dude, you get detention if you were 2 seconds late. Like
we did not have that.
If the bell was still ringing while you walked through the door, you'd get a dirty look. But yeah, they were.
Yeah,
rough.
there was no punishment for being late to class. As long as you like made it, 30, 40 minutes before into the class, you were fine.
This was homeroom, by the way. Like, did you guys have homeroom? Does everyone have that?
Yeah, no.
We didn't have that, no.
We did in middle school, but not in high school.
Oh, yeah, so we had you wouldn't even call it a class. Just 10 minutes before your first class, everyone assembled there. You said the Pledge of Allegiance, and then you went into your first class. Also, he'd do some announcements.
You go back to your homeroom all the time? We just had like block scheduling every day.
Yeah, same.
Not sure what block scheduling means.
It's like
A,
you
B,
have longer
C, D.
class. Yeah, A, B, C, D, or A, B, A, B, or whatever it is.
I just
Class
had the
1,
same
class
class.
2, class 3, class
yeah,
4.
I had the same classes every day, mostly, I think. And but the first class of the day wasn't a real class. It was super short. They just take attendance, and sometimes the homeroom teacher would have things to tell you, like, hey,
Announcements.
some sort of announcements that didn't cover the PA system.
And sometimes your like homeroom would be like how they organize, like, I don't know, vaccines or something like that.
Sure.
But yeah, we had that in middle school, not in high school though. Yeah, there was no punishment for being late, and if you could absolutely skip classes, like just there's no punishment for skipping classes. It's just like, oh, you didn't come? No. All right, well, you don't get credit for today. Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't come.
Oh, no.
Really?
Well,
we couldn't just skip class. We would get in trouble for that. But like if you were late,
what are they gonna do?
you could just
We would
make
get
excuses.
in-school suspension for that.
What are they gonna do if I don't show up for that?
That you get out of
get
school
even
suspension,
more.
which seems like an improvement, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm definitely not showing up for that. Now we're all happy, right? Perfect. I drove to school, so it was like first period was horticulture, and I didn't really need to learn any more about arranging flower bouquets. So I just go, drive to like Cracker Barrel and sit down and have a nice breakfast. And maybe sometimes I would just go to the movie theater, watch a movie, show up 30 minutes late for the second class. We're all good still. Second class is welding. Oh, did I miss 30 minutes of welding? Oh no. How will I ever get my T-joints right?
That kind of sounds like fun, going to a welding class. We didn't have shop or anything
welding.
like that.
Oh, I took welding every semester all the way through high school. I should be a master welder.
How are you at welding?
I could stick two pieces of metal together just fine.
That's the job.
I can MIG weld much better than anything else, but I can stick and TIG. I picked up enough, but you wouldn't want me like welding something you wanted people to look at.
That's about where I am. I can't TIG though, so I'm almost there maybe.
What does that mean?
Yeah, TIG welding is you've got in one hand you've got a torch, and but it's not a flame. It's you've got like you hook a what looks like a jumper cable attachment to your workpiece, and then this thing shoots this arc of plasma, and then in your other hand you have this like very thin piece of metal, this rod that you use to like it melts as and you're able to do really intricate stuff. It's usually, in my experience, it's for really intricate stuff and aluminum in particular.
Does it like melt instantly when it touches the plasma? I bet
pretty instantly. Yeah, that's something you adjust based on the gauge of the media and the heat of the torch. But yeah, I'm not much of a welder, but I took 8 semesters of welding.
At least that's a cool class that's offered, like welding. That's neat.
Don't imagine that there was a welding class taught, because I feel like you're imagining like all of us sitting in desks and a welding teacher being like, today we're going to learn this. That never happened once in 8 semesters.
Well, then what's welding class?
Welding class is the welding teacher's side hustle, where he has student labor build cattle trailers and then sells them to people. Like there's like 3 or 4 guys who might have an interest in like welding in the future, and those guys can weld, and so they're free labor. They're building him a cattle trailer. They're all over this thing. It looks like a work site that you would see when they're building the Empire State Building with all the men, like everybody's working hard. Yeah, he's got like 3 or 4 fucking 16-year-old dudes in their Carhartts just fucking welding this shit up.
Was everyone okay with them having a side hustle and getting money in their pocket? Okay.
Oh yeah. They all did it. So in a row, you had automotive. We called it metals, but it's welding. And then construction, which is shop. Shop class made gazebos and garden sheds, and metals made cattle trailers and a few other little things similar to that. $10,000 items. And then automotive did oil changes for people and small repair, and they were all profiting through student labor.
I never took any of those. I was so jealous. I almost didn't graduate because of that. My father, he would see like, oh, you could take accounting. Why would you take metalworking or woodworking when you could take accounting instead? So I do that. And there was another one called like business fundamentals and accounting too. It just went on. And I got these extra like academic courses. And in my senior year, they're like, you're not going to graduate. You have to take one of these things. So they slipped me in photography. But yeah, it was actually kind of a neat course. The teacher hated me for good reason. But I never had those things. I remember my accounting teacher used to roast all the other teachers. And in like a self-deprecating way. She'd be like, I don't know why I became an accounting teacher. This is the worst kind of teacher. I have to actually teach you guys. I give you work that comes back to me, and then I have to grade it. So after I work here, I have to work at night, working more, and I don't get paid very much. I could have been a gym teacher. And then she does this. She leans back, puts her feet on the table, and says, run those laps. She's like, that could have been my job. You don't see gym teachers grading at night. Mr. Mulvaney over there, he's a casino dealer in Atlantic City at night. You know what I'm doing at night? Grading your papers. I could be making double money too. And we thought it was hilarious. We all loved her rant. Although as an adult,
you didn't account for that, did you? Oh.
As an adult, I'm like,
most competent accountants work for an accounting firm.
You're roasting all your coworkers to a bunch of teenagers. Like, this is so
I guess
unprofessional.
you're not much of an accountant, are you? Then?
What's more, what an accountant makes or what an accounting teacher makes? Oh, you didn't think about that? Everybody has that teacher, or had that teacher rather, who was the football coach who had to also work at the school.
Yeah.
And one of our coaches was the football coach. That was the only thing he gave a fuck about, just the football coach. And then he also was the gym coach. And I remember he was teaching tennis one day. And so our school was like all excited. They like built these like 2 tennis courts and, we're going to do tennis. And I thought it was fun. Like, it was just a fun like activity at gym. I enjoyed tennis. Wasn't very good, but like he was like, all right, here's how you hit top spin. Just fucking no spin. Here's how you hit the slice. Like the same thing. He's like, I'm gonna go up on stairs and smoke cigarettes. So then he would go up and sit and like read the paper or something up on these stairs coming out of the gym that overlooked the tennis courts. And you never saw him. There'd be whole days where it'd be, we'd be like, hey, where's Coach S? And he'd be like, this is one of those days he's not coming out. And it's like, all right, well, who wants to play tennis with me? Like, that was kind of how it went. So everybody played.
That's how like every elective was. In every elective I ever took, the teacher didn't give a fuck, and it didn't matter what we did. Like sign language, she didn't give a fuck. I didn't learn any sign language. I knew the alphabet. That was it. Gym, I don't remember us ever having an organized like learning experience whatsoever. We did like the physical, we ran the mile once a year. We that's it.
You never had a
You ran the mile once a year.
That's it.
You didn't play soccer or baseball or tennis or
never did any of those things. If you want to shoot some hoops, there's balls and hoops. Have fun with that. Otherwise, everybody ready to run the mile in May? Because that's when we're doing
our
it.
gym class
Good.
was training most of the time. Like as freshmen, all you did is run. Outside of that, maybe I'm wrong on it. Like, so I seem to remember a lot of like doing sprints back and forth and shit like that. But as you got older, you got dedicated. We had gymnastics, we had archery, we had golf, we had tennis, and the coaches of the sports often taught them. We had pretty good gym, I think.
That sounds expensive. We had a basketball. Then we had an offshoot of gym was weightlifting, and gym was required to take 1 semester of gym. But weightlifting was just a completely elective class. I took like 2 or 3 semesters of that because once again, I just wanted as many easy electives as possible. I didn't want any electives where like you'd have to do a thing. I learned that and what was it? Oh, it was a computer class where you had to like learn Excel and a bunch of other shit.
I had to take that class, Excel and Access.
Yeah, I cheated. I got somebody else just to save all the work on a thumb drive and turned it in. And then I took it home and printed it all out and then turned it in. And she could tell the difference between a fucking laser printer and an inkjet. And she called me on it. And I made a 46. She could tell that all my printed out work was printed from home. And it was bullshit. And I'm like, God damn it. Not only did I use all of mom's ink, I got a 46. Fuck. Like this bitch is Sherlock Holmes over here solving the inkjet laser printer fucking mystery. Failing me. I learned my lesson then. Like there's no way I'm ever taking an elective that's difficult. So then I took computer aided drafting and similar situation. I was way behind. And but the teacher like went to school with my mom and recognized me. And I was like, is there any way I can pull this grade up? I was like, I'm at like a 50 and we got like 6 weeks to go here. And he's like, just do book work, go through the book and, every chapter, there's a quiz at the end, just, fill it out and turn it in. And so I just took a piece of paper and wrote nonsense words on it and turned in like 100 pages of nonsense words, like literally gibberish. Like if he even gave it a cursory glance, I'd have been found out because it was like, apples are sweet and delicious. Number 1, number 2. Pizza pie in my eye. Oh my. I just needed words on a page and I had to write them as fast as possible. So like every day I got to get like, I had to do like 5 chapters a day or something. Like it was, if I tried my hardest and worked at home, I could have done it. Or I could just write pizza pie in my eye. Oh my. And I could get it done in like an hour a day for 6 weeks. And I did that. And then I took things like sign language, weightlifting as much as I could. Metals, like I said, 8 semesters. Construction, 4 semesters. Stuff like that. Anything that was just an instant A. Like you can literally sleep through those classes. They hope you do. like you don't even have to be there. Those classes were all in a row, and they all had giant garage doors that opened up to the outside world, and they had like this back lot area where they kept like all of the supplies for those classes. So like oil filters and stuff were on one side, and then lumber was on the other, and then metal stock was on the other. You know, like lots of metal pipes, metal sheets of metal, that sort of thing. We just hang out there around a barrel fire all day through the winter, like doing nothing ever.
In our gym class, so freshmen just run, they don't pick what they do. Sophomores pick what they do, but they get last choice. The seniors and juniors pick in front of them. And then amongst the sophomores, it's alphabetical. So I'm a Woodworth sophomore, right? I'm the last of anyone in the whole school. So I'm dreaming of like archery and golf and fencing and stuff I got to do as an upperclassman. I got jazzercising. And, and
it's really popular, right?
I was down. I was like, man, jazzercise is the worst. It's gay and you sweat a lot. And they're like, it's not so bad, Woody. You see cooches every day. And you do. Just girls doing like downward dogs and shit like that. That's what jazzercise was. Get yourself a good seat.
Pretty well. You're there early. Woody, you know, I talked to the other teachers, and I can't believe it. They say you're late for every other class.
You're here 10 minutes early. Aren't you supposed to be in algebra right now?
Yeah, I'm never late for cooter peeking.
Yeah, but third period's just wrapping up, and they're extra sweaty in the last 10 minutes. I like to get here on time. Oh, and then
Woody,
the other side.
Again got something in your eye and wandered into the women's locker room again.
It's a jazzercise hazard.
You're all pepper dust lunches. Working out.
The other side of the bullshit electives at high school was the agriculture department. So like the things that I described were all in one big building, that you had to like go through a breezeway to get to. The metals, the automotive, the construction, they were in their building. And then on the other end of campus was agriculture. And agriculture had horticulture, animal husbandry. There was they had pigs, they had cattle, they had chickens.
Sounds kind of fun.
They had like a big show barn where like kids would raise like show heifers.
Took me there, and there was a fish farm.
Yeah, there's a fish farm. There's greenhouses.
Take a second to picture this, people. You need a giant like pool or lake or something to have a fish farm. Is not like a chicken farm where you just put up some fence and have chickens. There's some infrastructure involved in this school.
It's kind of like a greenhouse with really long troughs of water in it. And then at the end, you've got like a wheel that spins to aerate the water.
What kind of fish?
I think it was catfish because, again, it was all about turning a profit. It was a side hustle because like when the catfish grew up, you had a fish fry. And everybody shows up to the school to like buy a catfish, like fried catfish. And like, they're making catfish plates where it's like a fried catfish and like some beans and rice and a roll. And it's like $6. And
it sounds so good. I would love some fried catfish.
It costs nothing, and they would sell out. We'd sell them all. So we had horticulture, which was flowers. You grew flowers, you learned about flowers, and you made flower bouquets. I took 2 semesters of that. You had animal husbandry, which is where you had to literally go into a fucking pig barn sometimes and learn from Mr. Mackinson about pigs. Myers, come up here and look at this sow. See how that little in there? See, you got to clip the teeth of the babies, or they'll bite the nipple and they'll get infected. Myers, you see that? You see that right there? And I'm just like, I'm gonna smell like pig shit all day. I hate this. like. I hated it so much because you would like you're in.
Did they offer showers after pig shitting?
Dude, no one showered at my school at any point ever. The showers were never ever once used.
I know you've said that, but I mean, like, I was just asking again because I mean, pig shit is a pretty rough smell.
No, my ex-girlfriend failed that class because she refused to go into the pig barn because she didn't want to smell like pig shit all day. understandably, I guess, you know,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, at
like
least
who
make
did?
that a last class of the day on your schedule.
Yeah, I always tried to make gym like and weightlifting like last period because you're gonna come out of there sweaty as fuck and you don't want to be like sitting
If
in
you can get that.
economics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
we,
the gym early on in the day, my senior year, because I saved my gyms for
well, you
senior
took
year.
showers.
Well, but also like in my head, it was like, oh, school doesn't even really begin until like after lunch now. Because that, and I've said this before, they accidentally fucked up my schedule where they gave me gym, study hall, gym, study hall.
You had 2
Before
gyms?
Yeah, 2 gyms and 2 study halls. And
That's why you
and-
look like that. God
and the
damn.
gym teacher, and like I needed 2 gyms, and so the gym teacher didn't care. But the administrator was like pissed, like 10 weeks in, where he's like, "You knew this was wrong," and I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm just learning." He's like,
But I thought
And
you
I-
needed 2 gyms.
"I did." He was mad about the study halls because you're not supposed to have multiple study halls in the same day.
Oh, you're not?
We did not
No.
have study hall.
Mm-mm.
You didn't have any
No
study
study
halls,
hall.
Kyle?
No, that's like something from like movies that I've seen. I don't even know what the fuck that would that I mean I it's self-explanatory what it is, but it's a completely foreign concept to me. We had
Yeah.
a class called Life Connections.
Ooh,
Figure that
we had
one out.
Called Life Skills. I
Life
bet it's the same
Connections, it's
bullshit.
sex ed.
Nope.
Is it like this is how you set up your LinkedIn page or whatever?
Nope. That would have been good.
That would have been good. Life Connections.
Was it like marital advice?
Like
that would have been
casual-
helpful too. Especially in my county, all those kids are getting fucking knocked up and married a year out of high school.
Is it how to get regular sex?
I wish that would have been super helpful for me.
Life
No.
Connections. Was
Life
it about?
Connections.
Was it about like not doing drugs and things?
I'm going to cut this off because the answer is I have no fucking idea what it was about. So I don't know what we were supposed to be doing in there. I have no idea.
What did the
there
teachers
were 2 teachers, and we would first of all it was in a double wide trailer, so because like we had plenty of money for a cattle barn, but we
Mhm.
didn't have money to put the Life Connections class or the sign language class anywhere but in a fucking trailer that was outside. So like, I don't know. We'd go in there and just chill and just like, I don't remember what we'd learn. It was just like, it was like creative time. It's what it was. It was like
Mhm.
creative time. Like they would be like, oh yeah, write us a report on something.
What a waste of time.
I wrote a report about getting a blowjob from one of the girls in class one day. That was my report. I got an A.
Nobody's reading.
I'm not
Or
making
maybe-
this up. I know it sounds outrageous that I did this. The teachers understood and were giggling about it. It was
I used to turn in book reports with one sentence that said, like, do you really read this? And like half the time they were circled. One teacher got mad. I didn't somehow anticipate that. But half the time they just didn't see it. Like they made no reference to it, didn't notice the sentence.
They definitely did that because I remember once it was my junior or senior year. I was must have been my senior year because I was feeling kind of over it. And like your bibliography or your works cited page for some research paper I turned in, and she was like, "This works cited bibliography is 100% wrong. Like you need to do this and that and change the formatting." And I just didn't do it. I just forgot. And so I just like reprinted it out and turned the same thing back in and was like, "Oh, she's gonna be mad." No, like. She must have thought I made changes because she bumped it up a bit. And it like they really do just bullshit. Like in your head, you're like, well, there's a meticulous level of consistency that the teacher strives for. They certainly wouldn't give certain students better grades because of their own biases. That's crazy. And it's like, no, that shit happens. And like it's exactly like I swear, sometimes they'll give you like an 87 because they gave 3 90s out prior. And they're like, yeah, I need a little variety, a little spice here.
One thing I figured out is like, say the grader doesn't know you, your best handwriting is important on your essay score. But, you know, my handwriting is below average, but if it was an essay, it's like, you got to put your best foot forward on this thing. Half of this grade, they're going to form an opinion of the author based on his handwriting as much as the words he picked.
See, in English, I agree with you. English essays, very making sure everybody can read it. My end of every Italian test, all those essays, I would scribble like words and like hope that she would give me the benefit of the doubt sometimes because it'd be like, oh, is it, am I supposed to say mi piace or am I supposed to say ti piace or something like mi piace, something like that. And it'd be like, if I do an O, with a little flip, not quite the A, like maybe it's not quite an A. But I remember, I've said this before, but I remember writing those essays and her just looking at me like I was a fucking retard because she'd be like, all right, 100 words minimum, end of the test. Like, it's write about your experience at the library. And it's like, my name is Taylor. My brother's name is blah. My mom's name is blah. My dad's name is blah. Mi piace means I like. So it was just like, mi piace del vino. I like wine. Mi piace il birra. Mi piace la lasagna. Mi piace. And I would be like, what did you eat for dinner? And I just list an outrage. Because then also it would be like, say what you had for dinner and then say what you and your family talked about at dinner. It's like, all right, if I can get 85 words out of what I ate, I won't have to say that much. And then it's like, and then I said to my brother that I like this movie. And then he said to me that I like this movie too. It was a fucking joke. And I remember by the end of it, and this was a class pro tip, anybody in college, if you really demonstrate that you're trying, teachers will give you the benefit of the doubt. I went to this teacher's office hours because I knew going in that I was going to fail Italian 2 because it was 2.5 years since I'd taken Italian 1. And I was screwed, but I went in, I did extra workbook stuff and I would show it to her. Oh, I showed her so dozens of pages of work, 100% wrong. But she would and sometimes it got to the point where I would flip through and be like, I'm doing the work, where I would just rewrite the question that was asked in Italian and worse handwriting. And she gave me a C. I did not deserve a C. My speaking test.
Fair.
Foreign language in particular, write something. I figured out early on that even if you don't know what the heck is happening, write something. You'll get half credit, a quarter credit.
Yep.
The teacher wants to give you a little credit, but if you give a blank answer, then there's nothing you can get but a 0 on that.
I filled out a Scantron once in ink.
How did you do that? That's stone cold stupid.
It was purposeful. It was me sending. It was about sending a message. Yeah.
A message that, man, this kid hates grades.
Yeah, that was the message. Yeah, it was literally to try to get the lowest grade I possibly could.
A 0 will do that because it doesn't read it.
It was below a 30. It was below a 30, I think.
I got my brother came back from my grandparents yesterday, and he spent the night here before he had to drive home, and he brought how many ribs are in a rack? It was 9 in a rack, and he brought 4 of them. And so my grandma, she called me and she was like, now your brother's coming back up there and I'm sending some ribs with him. Now, how many do you want? I told him to bring 3 sides of ribs. And I was like, no, that's way too many. And she goes, okay, that's good. I sent him with 2.5. And so it's 60 ribs. And last night, I really knowing that those ribs
I
were
gave
there.
him 2.9.
Yeah, 2.9. And she I knew those ribs were there. And so yesterday I basically just intermittent fat. I had a banana and a Bang Energy in the morning. And I knew my brother was coming with the ribs. And so I was like, I'm not having a bite of food until these fucking ribs show up. And I went to town last night on so many ribs. Hit my protein macros easy, still stayed under my calories somehow.
Nice.
I guess because my entire diet yesterday was a banana, a Bang Energy.
And a rack of ribs.
Yeah, a rack and a half of ribs.
Are you tracking everything in Chronometer or whatever you use?
Fitness Pal mostly. Okay. I'll track half or 2/3 of the day, and then the rest of it I just kind of do in my head as I'm going. How much more do I need protein? Okay, I can cover that. How much do I have more in calories? Okay. So, but that also lends itself to little treat. I can fit that in. You can fool yourself. God, I hate not eating whatever I want all the time.
It is nicer to eat.
It's the worst part of being an adult. Is being able to know I could go buy fried chicken anytime.
Oh, dude, I have the kind of money that could just do damage at a convenience store.
Yeah. Remember before a movie when you were a kid, you'd go to Walgreens or CVS, whatever was close to the movie theater, and then you'd buy stuff and give it to your mom and she'd put it in her purse, and it was one candy, and you have no concept of monetary value, and then as soon as you get older, you're all this stuff is free to anyone with a 20. Then it's
the box that the Snickers are in? I could get that.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember those boxes they would give to you in fucking school to do fundraisers? You could get that. The one with like 50 fucking full-size Snickers in it.
And you don't have to sell them at all. You can just keep them at home and eat them. You don't get in trouble.
That's what I did. Every time they knew what they were doing. When they send a fucking fourth grader home with 30 or 40 fucking full-size Snickers or Reese's, like, you're just digging around for quarters in your parents' like change jars, like ka-chink. All right, here we fucking go. You're in ashtrays and stuff, like everywhere. It's like I ate so many candy bars because of that. They sent me home with a big box of them.
If you took it home and hid it from your parents and didn't give them the slip that you were supposed to, that said like, make sure they sell this, then you just got to keep candy in your room, my friend.
That's what we did pretty much. Like my mom would like take them to work. She'd sell them. My dad would like take them around. And,
I don't think you're getting what Taylor's saying. He just stole all the candy. He didn't. They sent Taylor home. No, he would just get a box of candy, tell no one about it, put it under his bed or something.
They didn't make a note that they gave Taylor a fucking case of Snickers?
They gave it to me, but I did not pass it along.
They gave him a note.
No. At the school, the way it worked, for me anyway, is they were like, who wants to be part of the fundraiser? I do. M&M's, Snickers, or Reese's? Snickers. Here's your case. Kyle, 1 case of Snickers. Now I owe them either a case of Snickers or $50. If I don't come back with a case of Snickers or $50, then I'm in trouble. They're going to put 8-year-old me on collections or something.
8-year-old you on collections for enough candy to get back.
They're gonna make me fucking clean the bathrooms like Ollie, the poor kid who can't afford lunch.
I was so young, I don't remember the specifics. I just remember that I got into, and it wasn't name brand candy.
Your parents had to pay for that candy.
They probably did, but I didn't. So,
all right, you can have your cheat meal.
Yeah.
What is the meal that you would have? You can have anything you want, no matter how awful or unhealthy or ridiculous. What is your cheat meal?
And we got to stick it to like one entree because we can't be surf and turf and crab and like we can't go mad with it. So it's got to be like one main thing.
Okay.
If I'm just gonna go crazy, I would want fried chicken from my grandma's fried chicken, not from a store or from a restaurant. I want my grandma's fried chicken, just piles of it, because that's how it's served. And then I want some fresh green onions. Green onions are great. Have you ever had that? Where you like eat some of your chicken with your hot sauce on the chicken, and you take a bite of the green onion with it?
Never.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Love it. And then another thing to have, like a little bite when you're eating fried chicken, is radishes. That's good also. What side would I want? Some fucking like 10 pieces of Texas toast. There's no room for
really buttery
vegetables. Very buttery. Actually, if we're gonna do vegetables, I like.
I'm not eating the crust either. I'm folding it in half so I can bite the butter part out and then throwing that crust away. I like. So it's just a big window of crust.
That's what I'm doing. That fried chicken, and honestly, that's it. And the little sides, the green onion, maybe some collard greens for a vegetable. That'd be
so
good.
I was thinking. Let me jump in because I bet yours will be better. My first thought was, hey, filet mignon, baked potato, Coca-Cola, right? It's a high calorie, but I'm like, that's not too far. I could squeeze that in anyway.
You absolutely can, yeah.
If I'm going to have a cheat meal, I remember we did a PKA hangout, and I was at a hotel. I didn't have a lot of food options, so I ordered from like Domino's or something, and I ordered everything I felt like. Like, oh, they have cookies the size of pizzas here. I'll take one of those. A 2-liter Coke. Of course, I'll have a pizza. I'm at Domino's. And, oh, look, bread. That is pretty much pizza with no sauce. I'll take that. And brownies and cookies? I don't mind if I do. And by the way, like, you order brownies from Domino's, it's bigger than a human head. Like, it's a lot of food. And it shows
That's
up.
a lot of carbs. That's a hell of a cheat meal.
Yeah. And I didn't eat it all. Of course, nobody could eat all that.
Nobody could do that.
But that's kind of what I want on my plate right now. That would be nice.
I'm pretty close to Taylor. I would really like Zaxby's chicken fingers. They really are fucking. I think what's their fucking slogan? They're irresistible, something like that. They're really fucking good. I want those chicken fingers, and I want French fries and mashed potatoes.
Ooh,
Doubling on the potatoes. I want the crinkle fries with the seasoning on them, and I want mashed potatoes with gravy, but I want that from KFC. I can do what I want.
Mhm.
And I definitely want a lot of that Texas toast too. That's one of my favorite things. And I would do exactly what I described. I would fold it, eat the butter part out, and dip the corners in ranch.
That
Just to
sounds
make,
good.
yeah, I want to dip the corners of the
Can we dip the
window of-
corners in more butter? Because that sounds good too.
I want ranch.
Okay,
I want to dip
okay.
them in ranch.
What are you having to drink? I like how Woody included a drink. I need to think.
It's gonna have to be either Coca-Cola, because that is I guess I'm a little bit like Wings of Redemption with this. We like the same two beverages. It's just that I don't drink them. It's sweet tea and Coca-Cola. Those are the two best beverages that I can imagine right now. Maybe like the only beverage that I can remember that was like the best thing ever. I was really thirsty one day. We were at this guy's place, and it was like 105 fucking degrees, sun beating down, and I'd been like helping them like load an ATV or something, and like I couldn't go back to get water, and they had one of those crushed ice machines that like makes the pebbles of ice on the
Way
property.
better ice. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm really thirsty, Stacy. Do you guys have anything to drink? He's like, come with me. And he like goes over to the crushed ice machine, and he like opens it, and he reaches into the crushed ice and pulls out a 20-ounce Sprite. And I don't love Sprite, but it was just right on the verge of freezing. It was like 32.5 degree Sprite. And so it was like thick and sugary. And I just remember drinking it, and it was like drinking sugar syrup, and it just being so refreshing. So I want that Sprite from that day.
That exact Sprite.
So I like your drink choices: iced tea and Coca-Cola. The only trouble is, I would say those are the best mainstream drinks, because when you get into like the IBC Black Cherry world, you can surpass those.
IBC cream soda was going to be my drink. But they only come in 12-ounce bottles, so I would need 4.
Obviously,
You can get. I'll link you the best root beer, though.
I would need 4. You know what? That would my IBCs. That would be my during my meal, and then I'd have a nice big frosty beer afterward, and then I'd go to bed.
You can have my beer.
Yeah, your beer that you didn't get for your dream meal.
I might go with this drink instead. This
Is it an IBC one?
What do you?
Oh no.
IBC makes.
Is it
we are
a
stepping things
real
up
sugar Coke or Pepsi?
Is it
the
Virgil's?
Mexican Coca-Cola would be the only Coca-Cola that I would go with. But
Virgil's. I knew it'd
this,
be Virgil's.
Ooh,
this is
I don't
Virgil's
know
root
this.
beer, with Bavarian nutmeg. All right.
A $7 soda.
They're not $7 if you go to the market in Atlanta, the international
Okay.
market in Decatur or DeKalb or wherever the fuck it is. They're so fucking good. They are expensive. They're like, don't think it's going to be $1. Like they're probably $4 or $5.
The bottle looks like it costs $3.
Right? It's one of those cantilever bottles. When you open it, it goes boop. It's just
Yeah.
like, oh, this is fancy. Like every time I open one, I'm like, I like smell it like it's a fucking wine or something, and it really does smell so good. It smells like nutmeg.
Is that if that's called a cantilever opening?
I think
or
it is. Yeah.
I was like, this was many years ago now, but I was like looking at beer at the store, and like, I didn't know what I wanted, and I saw one where it was like 4-pack or 6-pack, and they all had those like cantilever, and I'm like, oh, whoa! And so I just grabbed that one, and they were vile.
Yeah.
The most disgusting beers I've ever had. I think I ended up just handing them out to people, but it opened and closed so cool.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Yeah, we had the same experience one time with beer when we were like 19 or 18 or something like that. We got old Chuck to go with us to the liquor store, and we just bought all the beers that like we thought were good. I think we got like what's that one in Boston? Sam Adams. We got like Sam Adams, like a bunch of different like Sam Adams winter lager and shit like that. And we got back to like Scott's house, and we cracked open these Sam Adams, and it's bitter as a fucking like bad part of a pecan. I look at him to see if like I'm the only one. He's just like, and I'm like, I'm glad we got a 12-pack of Bud Light too, right? And he's like, yeah, let's get rid of this shit. And we like drank a 12-pack of Bud Light, and like I don't know what happened to that beer. Someone probably drank it, but it certainly wasn't us. So
I always
gross.
regret the variety packs with beer, and with the Zevia. I gave in. I got the variety pack of Zevia to expand my horizons. So far, the ginger root beer, very good. I like that. I thought it was going to come with regular root beer. I guess they don't have regular root beer. They just have ginger root beer, but that's good too. But grape was horrible. Orange, whatever. And all I really learned, the caffeine-free cola is weird.
Oh yeah, I throw those away.
I drank one of the black cherries last night, and it was pretty good. It was better than I remembered. So I think stack ranking, obviously cream soda number 1, ginger root beer, and then I would say black cherry, third rounding
I'm with you.
bronze.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And then after that, it's I like the grape more than you, but I like the orange as well. And the lemon lime is just so, but it's passable. It's probably better than grape.
The Mountain Zevia, like the Mountain Dew ripoff, is bizarre. I don't like that.
It's kind of weird. But yeah, I like to get that rainbow pack. I had it on. It's one of those things that I put on like Amazon, like subscribe. And after a while, you're like, oh, I got to get on there and fix this. We got like 8 cases of soda here, and I'm not even drinking them right now. It's like, dude, I got so much of that fucking soda.
After the show, I can't because there's some personal documents over there. I don't want people to see, but remind me to show you after the show my drink corner. I have allowed Subscribe to run wild. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've got 4 24 packs of Perrier, 2 original, 2 lime. I forgot to cancel my 0-calorie Gatorade a while ago, so I've got 48 of those. These MedRx's, I've got hundreds, and I canceled that months ago. The only thing I'm short on is cream soda Zevias. Oh, and I have these Rain energy drinks that are good.
I'll try to remember to take a picture of my Epsom salt collection later tonight because I've got to
subscribe and save, and it's just tons of them.